I'm Pam Seatle on Wards Island, which remains closed to the public along with the other islands because of flooding. The ferries are not running. One comes here to Wards Island, but that is just for staff and residents. We actually had to take a private water taxi to get here. And as you can see, there are still puddles everywhere. There are sandbags lining the walkway. There's a pump going, trying to get the water back into the lake, but still the rain will not stop coming. It's beautiful and sunny right now, but it has rained and rained hard several times today. So needless to say, businesses like the Island Cafe behind me are hurting badly. And with the latest estimated date for reopening not set until the end of July, this is shaping up to be the worst summer ever. The flooding doesn't seem too bad on Wards until you start walking towards Center Island, where the roads are underwater in several areas. I felt a little ridiculous in hip waders, but I was actually glad to have them. Center Island is like a ghost town, and with all island park permits suspended until July 31st, it's making a depressing situation desperate for anyone trying to make a living, including the private water taxi services ferrying people back and forth. How much of a hit has your business taken, would you say?
I would say 90% hit.
Oh my gosh.
We're operating at about 10% of what we did last year. It's brutal. In general, this is the craziest year I've never seen this before in my life. And we all went all in, you know. we invested, you know, a lot.
We're probably doing 10% or less of our normal business on any given day. And, you know, like today we have 2 people in the front and 2 people in the kitchen. And we'd have like at least 3 times that at this point in the summer. School's out. Yeah. Kids' families would be starting to come over by now. Right. Yeah, and Canada Day weekend is one of our biggest weekends of the year.
Yes, according to the owner of the Island Cafe, Canada Day weekend is usually one of the busiest, with at least 50,000 visitors coming across. Now, Zora realizes that won't happen this year, but he thinks the city could be making more of an effort to bring people back on a scaled-down basis.
The Wards ferry dock, for instance, is safe to land the Ongira boat. The Ongira has 2 sister boats that are located in the Toronto Harbour that are being unused right now, that the city could potentially rent for a period, so they could run more boats through Wards Dock. They could cap the number of people that could come to the island each day in a way to mitigate, you know, the number of people that were here, you know, potentially to control. So, you know, instead of the regular ferry numbers on a busy Canada Day weekend, which are somewhere in the neighborhood of like 20,000, they could cap it at 4,000.
Now, one of the other reasons we came to the islands today is because a City News viewer contacted us and said they could not understand why the sprinkler system was up and running on Center Island. Well, we thought that was strange too and wanted to check it out. Sure enough, it was on again today. It's quite an unusual sight, an already waterlogged island and 12 sprinklers going full tilt. Now, city staff tell us that they need to run the system in order to keep Franklin Pond agitated. Toronto Public Health says that is necessary in order to keep mosquitoes from breeding. Now, if you have an issue you would like us to look into, let us know by email, phone, or by submitting a tip through our website, citynews.ca. Now, there is one bit of good news for the 16 kids who come across to the Gibraltar Point daycare. It has been closed because of the flooding, but it's set to reopen early on July 4th, thanks to the fact that the owner of the island marina has offered to go to the mainland to pick up the kids, bring them back to the daycare, and then take them back to the mainland at the end of the day.